Greetings, my little yarnivores. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today I'm going to show you how to do this really lovely, and oh so fabulous pineapple lace shawl. And I was actually requested to do this video by one of my viewers. Thank you so much. I always love getting out of my comfort zone and trying new things, as I hope you do too. So I'm going to show you today how to do this. Now, I used for this, of course, my go-to, Karen Cakes, and this was the colorway Bumbleberry, I believe. And I love it, and actually, in spite of the fact that it looks rather complex, it's actually not that bad. Once you figure out how to get the repeat, you can totally get this. And it works up pretty quickly. I did this in a couple of days. And I needed actually 2 skeins of yarn. I didn't use the full second skein, but 1 skein just not enough. So for this example, I'm going to use Cake Pop. Alrighty. And, let's get to it. So, going to use also a size I crochet hook. Of course, you'll need your scissors, yarn needle, and also it helps to have a stitch counter. All right, so let's get into this. Okay. Alrighty, so for row 1, we are going to start with our obligatory slip knot. Been there, done that, shall do it again. Okay. So start with our slip knot, and then we start with a chaining up of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we proceed to do 2 double crochets into the first chain that we created. Then we do 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets into that same first chain, into that same space. So that's 3 double crochets. That's 1. 2, 3, 2 more chains, 1, 2, then 3 more double crochets. Now you can use the magic ring method for this beginning, but I don't know, I just don't dig it, to each their own, I say. And so right now we have 3 clusters of double crochets. We're going to do 1 more. So we need to chain 2 once again, and then 3 more double crochets. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And 1 more. Okay, so that is the end of row 1. And so you're going to have 4 clusters of double crochets separated by 2 chains, and then this tail here, just pull it nice and tight, and voila. All right. Okay, so for row 2, we shall begin by chaining up 3, and this pretty much is what you're going to be doing at the beginning of every row. You chain up 3, and then we are going to form a cluster. And the clusters, you always start with them at the beginning and at the end of every row, just about. So that is comprised of a chaining up of 3. Then into this chain 2 space, you do 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 more double crochets in that same space, 1, 2, 3, and we are going to start building up our first pineapple. So what you need to do is chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then into this chain 2 space, do a double crochet, just 1, then you chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and then into this space here, you do another cluster of 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 double crochets. If I can get there. Yes, I can. All right, and that is the end of row 2. Okay, so row 3. Alrighty, so for row 3, we start by chaining up 3, and we proceed by doing our obligatory cluster in the end. After chaining up 3, we do 3 double crochets into that first chain space, chain 2, 3 more double crochets. And the beauty of what we're doing at the beginning and end with these clusters is that actually it creates a really neat border up and down the sides, and it just makes it that much easier. All right, so now what we're going to do from here is we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and into this chain 3 space we're going to do a single double crochet, and then we chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3. Into that next chain 3 space we do a double crochet, and then we chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and then we finish off by doing a cluster into that last chain 2 space. And another chain 2, and 3 double crochets, and shabam. Okay, and that is the end of row 3. See how it's building up nicely? Okay. On to row 4. Okay, so what we're going to do, as per usual, is we start by chaining up 3, do a cluster into that first chain 2 space, and keep going with the cluster by chaining 2 and then 3 more double crochets. And all right, so now we're going to chain 3 from the end here, and then inside of this middle space here we need to do 11 double crochets, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, I cannot stress this enough that it does, in this particular instance, pay to double count and check, because undoing this is not fun. I have done several instances where, I got really far, I miscounted, had to go back. Oh, so I just do yourself a favor and seriously double count. So we've got 3 and 6, 9, 10, 11. Good. Okay. It does pay sometimes to err on the side of caution. So, enough of that. Then we chain 3. And then we do a finishing cluster into that chain 2 space. Alrighty. And that is the end of row 4. Okay. Alrighty, so for row 5, we are going to do very much the same what we did before, but increase it just a little bit. So we chain up 3, turn our work to a cluster in the first chain 2 space. Please pardon my redundancy, but it's part of the pattern. So that's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, all right. Then we chain 3 once again. 1, 2, 3. And then we need to increase the first and last double crochet of this series to go from 11 double crochets to 13. So in the first one, right here, there we go. In the first one, we do 2 double crochets. As you can see, 2 in the same stitch. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and into this last one here, we do 2. So that's, here we go, 12 and 13. Okay, and then we finish up this row by chaining up 3 and do a cluster into that chain 2 space. Okay, almost there. Okay, that's the end of row 5. See how it's fanning out oh so nicely. Okay. Okie dokie, on to row number 6. Alrighty, so we start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. We turn our work and do a cluster into that first chain 2 space. Do. And then chain 2. And then 3 more double crochets. All right. And then, okay, we proceed by continuing right along this way. And as you can see, we are most certainly getting there. Okay, just to give you a reference point, we're soon going to be starting this lovely lacy bit. Okay, so, sorry, I digress. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. And then into the first double crochet stitch, we do a single crochet stitch. Okay, and then we chain 3. And then we skip a double crochet stitch and go into the next double crochet stitch with a single crochet stitch. And we're going to do this all the way across to create these little gaps here. So we chain 3, skip a stitch, go into the next with a single crochet, and we are going to do this a lot. Chain 3, skip a double crochet, go into the next one with a single crochet, chain 3, do it again by skipping a double, going in to the next with a single, chain 3, okay, do it again, and once more. Going into the last double crochet with a single crochet. All right, and then we finish up this row, row 6, with a chaining of 3, and then going into the last chain 2 space with another cluster. You are going to be doing clusters in your sleep by the time I'm through with you. Okay. And one more. Okay, and that, my dears, is the end of row 6. Okie dokie. Okay, now for row 7, this is where things start to change a little bit. Okay, not to worry, I'll walk you through it. It's nothing traumatic, I promise. We start by chaining up 3, turn the work, do our oh so typical cluster in the side here of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. Excuse me. All right, so we've got our cluster. Now, instead of doing a chain of 3, we're actually going to be doing a chain of 5 because we don't want our pineapple to grow out anymore. We want it to go inwards, okay? And this will make sense more so as we go on. Okay, so start by chaining up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So after chaining 5 into this chain 3 space, we're going to do a single crochet. Then we chain 3. Into the next chain 3 space, we do a single crochet. Chain 3. Into that space, we do another single crochet. Chain 3. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space. Chain 3. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space. Chain 3. And you guessed it, single crochet into the next chain 3 space. Now, something that I have figured that actually makes it a bit easier for me to remember where I need to start doing this chain 5, because we did a whole bunch of chain 3s. This chain 5 starts when, after we have gone across and made these chain 3 loops, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 for 5. So, to me, that just makes sense. Granted, it makes sense after the fact, like most things in my life. But yes, if you have 5 chain 3 spaces, well, then you need to start that row with a chain 5, okay? And this is where we start doing our chain 5s, okay? So then to finish this row, we chain 5. Yes, we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we do our cluster in the end here. See, for me, it's really all about finding little tricks so that we do not have to perpetually follow patterns, written, verbal, or otherwise, because that way we can just do our thing. And that makes the process so much more enjoyable when we can just get on with our work and not agonize over it, right? All right, coming along. Okay. And that's the end of round 7. All right, row number 8. Okay, again, we have a slight change of plans, and I will show you what I mean. Okay, so we are going to start by doing another cluster. However, so we do our chain 3, as per usual. But because in the last row, in row 7, like I said, we're starting to make this current pineapple in the center, we're shrinking it down. We're making it go inwards, right? So that means that we're going to need to create a pineapple on the end here, on both sides. It's all about symmetry, of course. So in order to start having another pineapple grow, we need to create another series of 4 clusters down here, just like we started, okay? So in order to create a new pineapple, we're going to do, it's sort of like two clusters in one. So it is 3 double crochets, chain 2, then 3 double crochets, so we got 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, then we do this again with chain 2, 3 double crochets, one more, chain 2, and yeah, 3 double crochets. Now I know it seems quite crowded to do all of these stitches into the same space, but it will work out, trust me. Alright, so we have quite a cluster going on here. So this was our initial chain 3, so we've got 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So you've got 4 groups of 3. Okay. Then we proceed along by chaining up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we do a single crochet into that first chain 3 space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, and I know it's a lot of repetition, but it's chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space. Okay, then because it's all about symmetry, we are going to do another chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And into this chain 2 space, we do our mega cluster once again. So that is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, okay, so I've got, let me see here. I have 1, 2, 3. So I need 2 more chains. And 3 more double crochets. Okie dokie. And that is the end of row 8. Okay. Alrighty, on to row number 9. So we start it by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, just like we did down here, we need to build up our pineapple from the get-go. Okay, so we start row 9 by doing our cluster into the first chain 2 space. Chain 2, 3 more double crochets. Okay, then we're going to do just like we did at the very, very beginning. We are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Do 1 double crochet into the next chain 2 space. Chain 3. And then into the next chain 2 space, do a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okie dokie. So as you can see, it's pretty much where we started from, the beginning of a pineapple. Okay, but it's on the end. Now the thing is, like I said, the middle one, we have to continue to shrink. So in order to do so, we're going to, after we did the ends on here, 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And into our chain 3 space, we do a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, there we go, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, and we have no more chain 3 spaces. See, we're running out of chain 3 spaces as we keep going along. All right, so we chain up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then into the first chain 2 space, we do a cluster. Of 3 double crochets. Chain 2. And 3 double crochets. And I've got a knot, excuse me, there we go. Okay, then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Into the next chain 2 space, we do a single double crochet. Chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3. And into the next chain 2 space, we do another cluster. That's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 double crochets, alrighty, and that is the end of row 9. Getting bigger before our very eyes. I told you this goes really fast. Alrighty, row 10. Okay. So we're going to continue right along by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn our work. Do a cluster into the first chain 2 space. 2, 3, chaining 2, 3 more double crochets, 2 and 3. Okay, then we do 3 chains, do a single crochet into this chain 3 space, single double crochet, there we go, chain 3, and then we do another double crochet into that next chain 3 space, chaining 3, then we do another cluster into that next chain 2 space. So that's 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. Okay. So you should have something that looks like this. Okay. And then proceed by chaining 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into our first chain 3 space, do a single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, and we are out of chain 3 spaces. So we chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Proceed to the next chain 2 space with a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Two chains and 3 more double crochets. All right, and then, so we did our cluster, then we do 3 chains, a single double crochet into that first chain 3 space, okay, chain 3, another double crochet into that next chain 3 space, and we chain 3 again, and then we finish off with another cluster in the last chain 2 space. Chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. Okie dokie. All right, and that is the end of row 10. And as you can see, my yarn is changing color nicely as we go along, and it keeps the visual appeal, it keeps it from getting dull. All right, on to row 11. Okay, for row 11, we shall continue right along. Chain up 3. Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3. Turn the work. Okay. Into the first chain 2 space, we do a cluster. I told you. Clusters. You'll be having visions of sugar plums and clusters dancing in your head this evening if you're doing this video with me right now. Okay, so we did our 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay, so now we are going to do our double crochets again. So we're chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Deja vu, anyone? All right, so we chained 3, and then we do 11 double crochets into this center space here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, I'm going to double count. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Good. Okay. All right. Then we do another chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Another cluster into the next chain 2 space. So that's 3 double crochets. Chain 2. And 3 more double crochets. Then we're going to chain 5 again, because we still need to shrink that pineapple. So that's 3, 4, 5. Do a single crochet into that chain 3 space. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into that chain 3 space. And we are just about out of chain 3 spaces, almost. So we chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do another cluster into the next chain 2 space. So that's 3 double crochets. Chain 2. 3 double crochets. So we got our cluster, then we chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we proceed by doing 11 double crochets into that center space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. Okay. And then we chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Finish off with a cluster into the last 2 chain space. So that's 2, 3, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. And that is the end of, well, almost the end of row 11. There we are. Okay, row 11 all done. Okay, isn't this beautiful? I love it. Okay. Alrighty, on to row 12. Okay, so we're going to start with our chaining up of 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn the work, and we're going to do our cluster in the end here of 3 double crochets. Chaining of 2, and 3 more double crochets. Alrighty, and then we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then into the first and last double crochet, we do 2 double crochets. So we're going again from 11 to 13. So that's 2 in the first. It's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. And into this last one, 12. And 13. 2 in the last one. All right. So then we chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Do another cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay. All right. And then we chain 5 once more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we are going to go directly into this last lonely little chain 3 space with a single crochet. And then we're going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do another cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Two chains and 3 double crochets. Two and 3. And then we chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And then, just like we did at the beginning, we are going to do 2 double crochets into the first double crochet here, because we're going from 11 to 13. All right, so that's 2 double crochets there. And then work our way along here. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 2 in the last one, so that'll make 12 and 13. And then we chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and then finish up row 12 with another cluster within the cluster of 3 double crochets, 2 and 3, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. All right, we are getting there, and we are cooking with gas, and here we are. And that's the end of row 12. Okie dokie. Okay, on to row 13. All right, let's get into it. So we start again with our chaining up of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yes. We turn our work, and then we do, yes, another cluster of 3 double crochets, 3, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Oh, hello. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then we chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we do a single crochet into the first double crochet. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip a double crochet, single crochet into the next. 1, 2, 3. Skip a double crochet, single crochet into the next. Continuing the same thing all the way across. 1, 2, 3. Skip and then a single. 1, 2, 3. Skip and then do a single. 1, 2, 3. Skip and do a single in the last one. All right. There we go. Then we do chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Do another cluster of 3 double crochets. Chain 2. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, we are going to bridge the gap. We are finishing our pineapple here. Let me just get some extra yarn. Okay, so we don't do any chains whatsoever. Nope, we just go directly in doing a cluster into the next cluster. So this is going to close it up really nicely. So going straight in. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3. Now, what you want to be aware of when you are joining in the center here, you want it to be nice and tight. Otherwise, this first connection right here, if it's loose, it looks, ungainly, unseemly, and, you can't go back and fix it, once you're up a bunch of rows. So I would suggest, get it nice and tight whilst you can. All right, so then we continue on with the rest of this row in the same fashion. So it is chaining of 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the first double crochet, 1, 2, 3, skip 1, single crochet into the next, 1, 2, 3, single crochet, skip 1, single crochet into the next, 1, 2, 3, skip 1, single crochet into the next, 1, 2, 3, skip 1, single crochet into the next, 1, 2, 3, skip 1, single crochet into the next, 1, 2, 3, skip 1, single crochet into the last. And there, okay. And then chain 3 and finish by doing a cluster into that chain 2 space. Chain 2, 3 more double crochets, 2 and 3. Okay, and that is the end of row 13. Okay, up to row number 14. Okay, so again, we start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn the work. Do a cluster into the first chain 2 space. That's 3 double crochets. 3, chain 2. 3 more double crochets. 2 and 3. Now, if you recall what I had said about remembering the tricks of where we change from 3 chains to 5 chains, this is it, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we get to the end here, because we did have 6 chain 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, by going across this time, we end up with 5. Hence, why we need to start this by doing 5 chains. Like I said, it's a retrospect kind of way of thinking, but actually, for me, it works. So that's chain 3 into the chain 3 space, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the chain 3 space, 1, 2, and 3, single crochet into the chain 3 space, and then one more. 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the chain 3 space. So, as I said previously, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 chain 3 spaces, hence why we need 5 chains right here. Just a little way of remembering. Okay, so then we chain 5 once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do a cluster into the cluster with 3 double crochets. Chain 2. 3 more double crochets. Okay. Then, because we finished this pineapple down here, we need to create a pineapple above it. And that's what we're going to be working on in this space here. So we're going to start by chaining 2, 1, 2, and do a cluster into this cluster space. And again, you want it to be nice and taut. And so the creation of new pineapples is something that we are going to be getting into. And then, after we have done that, I will leave you to continue on. And also, I will do timestamps, so to speak, in the description box so that you don't have to, have me do the entire shawl for you. So we chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a single crochet into the first chain 3 space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the last chain 3 space. And then we chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we do another cluster on top of the cluster in that chain 2 space. Almost got it. Chain 2. And 3 more double crochets to finish the cluster. Okay, and that is the end of 14. Okay. On to row 15. Yes, we are certainly getting there, aren't we? Okay, so now, again, we chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work. Now, as I said before, it's a matter of increasing our pineapples and decreasing our pineapples. So right now, this pineapple here, since we did our chain 5, it is on the closing, the decrease. And because of that, we need to start another one at the end here. So every time on this pineapple here, every time we do a chain 5, what we need to do is create a new one. So again, just like down in here, where we have these 4 clusters, that's what we're going to have to do again, another 4 cluster. So we chain 3, we do 4 groups of 3 double crochets separated by 2 chains. chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, so we've got 1, 2, 3. So we're going to chain 2 and then do one more group, 1, 2, of 3 double crochets. There we are. Okay, let me just get some extra yarn here. Pardon me. Okay, so we did the foundation for the next pineapple, and we're going to continue to shrink this one down here by starting with a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do a single crochet into that first chain 3 space, chaining of 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chaining of 3, and single crochet into the last chain 3 space. And then we chain 5 again, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we do a cluster on top of the cluster. Two, 3, chain 2, 3 more double crochets, okay, and then we still have to build up this center one, so we are going to chain 2, 1, 2, do a double crochet into this chain 2 space, chain 2 again, do a cluster into the next cluster space, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then going to stop here. So what you're going to do from here is you're going to chain 5 across, single crochet into the chain 3 space, chain 3, single crochet into the chain 3 space, etc., 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 chain 5, okay? And then, because it's all about symmetry, after you do these here, you chain 5, and then into this cluster space here, you're going to do 4 groups of 3 double crochets separated by 2 chains, just like in the beginning here, okay? You can do this. Okay, and I will meet up with you at the end of the row. Alrighty. Okay, so we are on to row 16. Now, just to recap how it should look, we had our chain 5, chain 3 space, chain 3 space, etc., chain 5, and then at the end of round 15, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 3. So to continue on with row 16, chaining up of 3, 1, 2, 3, we turn our work and we do a cluster into the first chain 2 space, So it's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, okay. Now we need to start opening up this pineapple, so we're going to chain 3, do a double crochet into the next chain 2 space, 3 chains, and then do another cluster into the next chain 2 space, two chains, and 3 double crochets. Okay, now it's going to continue on, closing up this pineapple. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chaining of 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space. We're out of chain 3 spaces, so we chain up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do a cluster into the next cluster with 3 double crochets, 2, 3, oops, it happens. Okay, that was 2, 3, chain 2, followed by 3 double crochets, okay. Now we're going to build up the base of the next pineapple even more. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then do a double crochet into this double crochet stitch here. Almost had it. Here we go. And then we chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Do a cluster into the next chain 2 space. Two, 3, chain 2. Another 3 double crochets. Okay. Chaining of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space. Chaining of 3. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space. And one more. Nope, okay. Well, that's chaining of 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then, pardon me, and then a cluster into the next chain 2 space. Grr, come on. Okay. And then 3 double crochets, okay, and then we're going to do as we did in the beginning. We are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, a single double crochet into the next chain 2 space, chain 3, and then end with a cluster. Chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Ta-da! Okay, and that is the end of 16. Okay, and we shall continue. Okay, row 17. Yes, indeed. All right, so we're going to start 17 by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. Turning our work. Do a cluster into the first chain 2 space. Three double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, that's 1, 2, and 3. Then we need to open this out further. See, if you'll notice, we have 2 spaces here, and then in the center we have, well, okay, we've got 2 spaces here, chain 3 and another chain 3 space. In the middle we have a chain 3 space and another chain 3 space, and then at the very end we have a chain 3 space and another chain 3 space. See, that is significant because we now have 3 pineapples that we are building all at the same time. We have this pineapple here and this one over here that we're closing up. So everything happens all at the same time, evenly, as we work our way across. Very important to remember. So, that being said, we did our cluster. Now we chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we do a double crochet into the chain 3 space. Would help if I yarned over first, wouldn't it? All right, so we do a double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Do another double crochet into that chain 3 space. Okay, and then we do another chain of 3, and then into that chain 2 space we do another cluster. 1, 2, 3, followed by chain 2, and then do 3 double crochets, 2, and 3, and then we're going to chain 5 because we're still closing this one up. So we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do a single crochet into the chain 3 space, chaining of 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet. Oh, no, sorry, we're out of chain 3 spaces, so that was 3, 4, 5, excuse me. It's easy to get wrapped up, and all right, so we do a cluster into the cluster of 3 double crochets. It's like, yeah, when you run out of chain 3 spaces, well, you gotta go up to the 5s there. So, And so we had that 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and it's 2, 3 double crochets. Then we continue on by doing just as we did here, by making those 2 spaces into a total of 3 spaces. So we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, do a double crochet into the first chain 3 space, and then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, do a double crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, and do a cluster in top of the previous cluster. So that's 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. So I'm sure that you must be seeing a pattern here, some repetition going on. It's just a matter of remembering where you do the increases, and then when you got that, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can proceed along much faster. So we did our chain 5, do a single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chaining of 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chaining of 3, 2, 3, and am I out? Yep, see? I'm out of chain 3 spaces, so add 2 more for a total of 5 chains, and then do another cluster into that chain 2 space. Whew. 2 and 3, chain 2, 3 more double crochets into that chain 2 space. That's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet into the chain 3 space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet into the next chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, and another cluster in top of the next cluster. Okay. Alrighty. And one more. And then we are done with the row. So now I think that this is as good a place as any to leave you. Now, what you want to keep in mind, okay, is, all right, so like for instance, for the next row, I'll turn it around here, excuse me. For the next row, obviously you're going to chain up 3 and do a cluster in the cluster here. Then, because we're still building this pineapple up, you would then do a chaining of 3, then you would do 11 double crochets into this chain 3 space, chain 3, do a cluster, chaining of 5, go into these last 2 remaining here with the chain 3 spaces, another cluster, and then, yep, you guessed it, yes, another 11 double crochets, and etc., etc. So you can see where the pattern goes, because, you would, like down here, we had our 11 double crochets, and then you would start by doing an increase of 2 in the first, 2 in the last, and then you work your way up. Now just remember, okay, and also you can use what you've done as your guide. That's another trick that I have done as well. you can use what you've already worked as your guide. So as you can see, we have 3 chains here, 3 chains here, 3 here, 3 here. Then, once we've already done a row where we have the chain 3 spaces, it is the next row up here where we have 5 chains. Okay? So you can actually take a look at your pre-existing work and be like, oh, well, I already did, see, we have this chain 3 going down here, and then we created the chain 3 spaces, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, the next one up is going to be 5 chain 3 spaces, so we start with the chain of 5 right here, right there. Then, because we started in with the chain of 5, the next one is where we have the 4 clusters to build up our next pineapple. And you're going to continue to work in this fashion on and on and on and on. And what I would suggest is to finish your piece, with the middle pineapple. See, we have our middle pineapple there. You want to finish, at least in my opinion, by finishing your middle pineapple, okay? Where we, where we join our clusters together, where we have this space here. You would want to end there, okay, with your middle pineapple. Alrighty, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch off camera for a bit, and I will show you how to do the edging, which is super easy, okay? I will be back in a bit. Okie dokie, back again. And so, as you can see, I've been stitching for a bit, and I'm not going to finish the whole thing, but wanted to show you how to do the edging. So I just finished the proverbial last round of the shawl. Picture it's a bit bigger, of course. And see, I just did the row that connected the 2 parts together. Now this is, as I said earlier, this is the middle pineapple, okay? I like the look of this for the sake of, my own personal sense of symmetry, all right? So after you finish this row, then what we are going to do is we are going to start very much like we have in the past by getting in there. We're only going to chain 1, actually. Okay, and we are going to slip stitch into these 3 double crochets here. Just do some slip stitching, work our way across, and at the end you will see why. It'll make sense. So 1 little slip stitch, 2 little slip stitch, 3, and then you slip stitch into the chain 2 space. All right, so we're away from the edge. Okay, then you chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, do a cluster. So it is, since that chain 3 counts as a double crochet, do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Then, pardon me. Then what we are going to do is we are going to proceed very simply. We are going to chain 1, and then into this next space here, do 2 double crochets into the chain 3 space, and then chain 1 into this next chain 3 space, 2 double crochets, chain 1 into the next chain 3 space, 2 double crochets. It's nice and straightforward, no? And you just keep going across, and in every chain space, do 2 double crochets followed by a chain 1. And it helps make a nice edging. It's very simple. And the edging itself, it will not be wavy or buckle or any of that nonsense. That is very easy to happen. All right, and we continue along. And another 2 right there. Okay. And one more grouping of 2, and then I will show you what we do next. Chain 1. Okay, now because we have hit a cluster right here, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 double crochets. This is sort of a mini cluster, if you will. So it's 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. So it's still sort of a cluster, but not quite so extreme. Okay, then what we are going to do is we are going to go directly into the next cluster space here, okay? And we are going to, let me just check my notes here, pardon me. Yes, okay, sorry about that. You chain 1, and then do the same thing, sort of a mini cluster of sorts. So it's 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. All right, ta-da! And then you proceed for the rest of the top with chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, etc., etc., etc. Now this, keep in mind, this is an edge that I came up with myself, bit of fiddling here and there. Again, I do encourage you, by all means, think outside of the box, get creative, do whatever it is that you like, just so long as it works as far as function as well as aesthetics. Everything else, it's a matter of personal taste. So I say more power to you. And just keep going along. And so then when you hit this next cluster here, it would be 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1 to over here, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, etc., 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 all the way till you hit the end. And when you hit the last cluster space, you would do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So, listen, I hope that all of this is something that makes sense enough. Also, another thing, a little extra thing that you can do if you are of a mind to, personally, not my thing, so I don't, but in these spaces here, all along the edge, all these spaces, what you can quite conceivably do is you can add fringe, you can add tassels. Personally, I don't care for them because I find that they get tangled, they get frizzy, they can get ratty. It's just not my thing. It's an embellishment that really doesn't necessarily need doing if the piece speaks for itself. And I think that this is lovely on its own, and it really doesn't need extra embellishment. I mean, the whole thing is one big embellishment, so why mess with a good thing, right? Again, personal preference. So, at any rate, enough of my rambling. I really do hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you learned something and that it was clear and that you enjoyed it above all. And if you did, please don't hesitate, leave some comments. If you have any questions, I will certainly do my best to answer them. Make one of these up. It's a lot of fun. And I did one, like I said, in just a few days. The pattern, as you can see, it works up nice and quickly. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you like it, hit like. If you didn't like it, tell me why. I'm totally open to suggestions, and I just want to encourage you to keep following your bliss. Excuse me while I lose my voice. Follow your bliss, keep stitching, keep inspired, keep caffeinated, and listen, until next time, you have a great, great day, and I hope to do another tutorial real soon. So, until then, bye for now.